Hello everyone. Um, Today I am going to discuss part 1 of computer appreciations. I'm going to go deep with the basics in computer. And actually this is my first video of this particular topic, and I hope prior to or after watching this video you learn something about computer appreciations, right? And by the way, this is my YouTube channel, kuyaeggworld, and if you are new to this channel, please click subscribe. And you know, sometimes when I look at the subscribers, it gives me a lot of energy if it increases well, right? So that's it. And here I'm going to share my my screen, and I have this online materials that I'm going to use, and along the way I'll discuss it line by line and somehow give some inputs, right? So here I am trying to use this vskills.in, right? As I reviewed the content of this one yesterday, I find it okay and so nice to share with, right? So here I'm going to discuss what is this computer appreciations, and we have this a lot of subtopics in here. I'm going to discuss part of this, and the other part will be for another video, right? So here the first part is what is computer. By the way, this is actually for commerce students who are taking, this subject, IT tools in business, IT application tools in business. All right. Okay. Here, what is computer? By the way, computer, according to the author, is what? It is a computational device. A computer is a programmable machine designed to automatically carry out a sequence of arithmetic and logic operations. That's the definition of computer. With this particular device, it gives you the right to do some, right, mathematical arithmetic computations automatically, right? It gives us this particular feature. And another definition of a computer is it is a programmable machine. Okay, so a machine that can be programmed to perform a specific task. And there are two principal characteristics of computer. Number one, it responds to a specific instruction in a well-defined manner. Alright. And number two, it can execute pre-recorded list of instructions. Actually, these two characteristics are in a form of a program. Okay, it's in a form of a program. And computer is also a processor. By using computer, you can you can process something, right? You can have this raw data, and with this personal computer, okay, it will process and produce an information, right? From a data, process, then information, useful information. It is an electronic device. It will not run without electricity. Designed to accept data, right, and perform mathematical and or logical operations to produce an information, useful information. At what? At high speed. All right, at high speed. And here I'm going to look at this. What is the characteristics of computer? Knowing that computer is a programmable device, right? It will accept data and process it and produce a useful information. Knowing that computer is an electronic device, it will not run without electricity, and it will perform something at a high speed. Okay, what is then the characteristics of computer? Okay, so look at this. There are actually several parts or characteristics of computer, but then I'll try to discuss it one by one. Number one is speed. When you are going to use computer, speed is not an issue. Okay, a computer is a high-speed device. It can perform mathematical operations or logical operations in a very fast manner. Okay, it can perform tasks in seconds. All right. So that's number one characteristic of computer. The second characteristic of computer is accuracy. Okay? Now it refers to the precision with which calculation can be done. Assuming the program is correct, because computer is a programmable device, okay? It will compute and do mathematical, right, computations 100% accurate. Assuming the formula is correct. All right? And a computer maintains high degree of accuracy provided there is no human mistake. Alright, that's what I'm trying to discuss. If the formula is okay, if the logic is okay, computer will perform such operations with utmost accuracy. That's the second characteristic of computer. The next characteristic of computer is consistency. It means continuous. All right, without any slowdown because it gets tired along the way, right? It will perform at the same speed. A computer can work for hours without lack of concentrations and emotional feelings. Okay, so if this particular process will take for 1 week, okay, there is consistency on it as far as computer is concerned, because computer don't get tired. It doesn't have any emotional feelings, right? It will work, it will process without the lack of concentration, because it's not a human being. Okay, and here it does not get tired and will do the jobs with the same speed and accuracy, even if it's first job or it's the millionth job. The same. That's consistency. And the next, okay, and the next characteristic of a computer is versatility. What does this mean? Versatility. It means dynamic and varied. A computer can perform various types of jobs, like it can do specific calculation, it can make drawings, it can change over to various types of jobs within a very short span of time. With the help of multitasking, the processor can switch to various jobs associated with it. Can do typing as well as printing at the same time. Right? It's multitasking. While you are trying to save something, you can print something. Right? So versatility. And the next, alright, characteristic of a computer is remembrance power, memory. It will store something and it will not, right, be erased, if assuming there wasn't any processes in there, right? Now, human brains are volatile and remember only important information, which may be lost as the time passes. That's us. But computer has permanent storage device where each and every piece of information can be retained for a long period of time. Okay, that's remembrance power. The information remains the same. Computer's memory can be increased or decreased as per needs, so it is adjustable. Remembrance power, another characteristic of computer. Now here, look at this. I laugh at this. Lack of IQ, of course. Right? The problem with computer device is it doesn't have intelligence quotient. It doesn't have intelligence to take decisions. A computer can only perform operations being programmed or instructed by a person. It's a lack of IQ. The IQ of a computer is dependent to the program. And the program is, of course, dependent to the one doing the program or the program. And the next characteristic of a computer is malfunction. Just like any man-made machine, it is subject for depreciation. It is subject to occasional breakdown and malfunction. Okay, so since computer is a device, it's a machine, so it can be damaged also. And the next one is wrong output. It's another characteristic of a computer. It cannot correct wrong instructions by itself. It doesn't have common sense, right? So if the output is wrong, computer doesn't have the capacity, ability to check it out and do some corrections. Wrong inputs results wrong output, and computer cannot detect this one. Okay, it doesn't have an IQ, it doesn't have feelings, it doesn't have intelligence to take decisions. And the last characteristic of a computer is no feelings. It doesn't have any feelings. Since computer is a machine, it is free from emotional and sentimental feelings. So these are actually the characteristic of a computer, and I hope I was able to explain each one of them, right? And here for a while. The next topic that I'm going to discuss is the generations of computer. Okay, so here I'm sorry, I'll try to at least close some of my files. Generation of a computer. There are, I think, 5 generations of computer since it started, and here the first generation computers are actually what? Vacuum tube technology was in use for the first generation of computers. If you can still remember, we have TVs, televisions in our home, wherein the monitor is as this, and there's this big box at the back of the screen. That's vacuum tube technology, and it takes a lot of energy when you try to turn it on. And the what is this? The what is this? So high. I mean, when you are going to use TV before with with this vacuum tube technology, it takes a lot of electricity, and you're paying a lot every month, right? But then those are actually the first generation computers. The radiation is so high. That's what I'm trying to point out. And these are actually the first generation computers. ENIAC, I know, right? This is electronic numerical integrator and calculator. Okay, this is our first computers, and ENIAC is so big, right? And this is the first general computer purpose computer developed in the United States of America, right? 1800. And we are using diode and triode valves in here. Okay, and we have this part of first generation computers, EDVAC, electronic discrete variable auto computer, was able to store programs and data in the memory. Okay, these are first generation, and it is considered as the first digital computer using ones and zeros, using binary number system to represent characters. Okay, this is actually a little bit higher to ENIAC in capacity. And the third one, as part of the first generation computers, UNIVAC, DAS1, Universal Automatic Computer, first digital computer produced on mass scale for commercial. Actually, the ability of UNIVAC is somewhat similar to EDVAC, but then UNIVAC was was being produced mass and being used for commercial. And there are 2 advantages of first generation computers. The first one is they were faster than the other computing device. Alright, and then what is this other computing device? Calculator, for example. Okay, first generation computer is faster than calculator. Electronic devices now were able to do computation. as this generation has shown the technology. Okay, so it's an improvement from the manual calculator to, right, uniback, right, 8-back, and so on and so forth. And these are the disadvantages of first generation computers. Number one, vacuum tube required a lot of power. That's what I'm saying a while ago. And the next one, the vacuum tube generated a lot of heat. Alright, hence air conditioning was required. It's so hot. And computers were bulky and were not portable. You cannot carry it by just, it's so big. And computers occupied a lot of space. It's not like now that we can just even place our computers at our wall, right, and paste it. And the last disadvantages of first computer generation is due to frequent breakdown, constant maintenance was required. So expenses. And here, let's move on to the second generation computers. Okay? Now, according to vSkills.in, they were designed using transistors. So it's alright. So before, on the first generation computers, we did use diode and triode, but in here we are now trying to use transistors. So the computers in here is smaller than the first generation. And for secondary memory, we did use magnetic tape or disk or drums. When I was in college, we did use these disks. Alright, floppy disks were used. Okay, that was year 1994, 1993. And high-level languages like Fortran, Algol, and COBOL were used for programming in this second generation. I was part of this. Generation. And there are actually two advantages of second generation computers. They were faster in competition than the first generation. Okay. And then they occupied less space. It doesn't have any more big box. And it is now it uses what, transistors, and it were all small as compared to the first generation. Now let's go to the disadvantages of second generation computers. First, transistors generated heat. It still produces heat, and it still needs to have what, or air condition. But as compared to the first generation takes a lot of power. Computers were still bulky and were not portable. It's still big, but smaller than the first generation. Computers occupied space, and due to breakdown, frequent maintenance was required. Almost similar to the first generation computers. Now let's move on to the third generation computers. Okay, they were designed using ICs, or integrated circuits technology. Right, from diode to transistors, and now IC. That's for the third generation. They have core, magnetic memory, and semiconductor called RAM and ROM. Actually, our computers now are still using this memory. Computers were having the cache memory feature. Secondary storage memories were still similar to the second generation up until now. They're the same. Okay. Now let's look at this one. The advantages of the third generation. There are three. They were faster in communication than the second generation computers. They occupied less space because IC is smaller than transistor as compared. And due to high reliability, less maintenance was required. Smaller chip produces lesser heat and of course lesser maintenance. And let's move on to the disadvantage of third generation. There's only one. IC chip technology was more complex, and thus expert persons were required. It is so small than transistor and diode, and it takes a lot of skills to create a single IC or chip. Alright, so that's it. And here, fourth generation computers. What are these? Fourth generation computers, same with the third generation, but then the memory is bigger than the third generation. RAM is 256, alright, And then the concept of supercomputers having more than one CPU. So we're now trying to do some networking in here. Additional numerical processor, right? Larger hard disks, okay, and optical disk, CD, and so on and so forth is being used for the first generation. There's now audio and video capability. The screen is so good, right? Not pixelated. The audio is stereo and so nice to hear. So those are the fourth generation. We have now these computers. Our computers now are part of the fourth generation computers. Smaller, right? Slim, less heat, and it takes no lesser electricity. All right, and here there are three advantages of fourth generation computers. They were faster in computing than the third, right, generation. They occupied less space, same with the third, as it shrunk the area required for electronic circuits because it's used IC. And they were more reliable, low maintenance was required compared to the third generation. And disadvantage of the fourth generation, due to breakdown, frequent maintenance was required. Yes, because chip is smaller na. IC chip technology needs to have an expert person. Alright. So yeah, the computers again that we have right now are actually fourth generation computers. And the last generation is fifth generation computers. The aim of fifth generation computer is to bring machines with general intelligence. Look at this. The ability to reason logically. It's like human beings. It is not just data processing but knowledge processing. From the first generation down to the fourth generation, it is data processing. But now, fifth generation computers targets to knowledge processing. Alright? Our fifth generation computers has the ability to decide logically. Right? And the input and output is speech and graphics. No more keyboard, no more keypad. It's more on, right, voice. In future, they will understand languages like English and Japanese. So it's like human beings. There's this artificial intelligence in them. Computer will do the job of programming. No, computer itself is capable of creating a program. It's a programmer. And all data may not be stored in main memory. Look at this. They may flow through processing units. There are lots of them. They're now trying to divide the processing, the memory, and putting it to some units under processing, right? And these computers are not yet to come, and scientists are doing research on them. So under research, under development, computer will be having its own intelligence, and it will take decision on its own. Look at this. This is the futuristic generation of computers. Okay, so we have this first generation, vacuum using diode and triode. The second generation uses transistors. The third generation up to here uses what? Used IC or chips. Alright, so that's it. And the next topic that I'm going to discuss is the classification of computers. There are lots of classifications of computers, but I'm going to share with you the one that being introduced by these skills that in. Number one classification of computers is supercomputer. Supercomputer is being used by what? What is this? It's being used by spaceship control, right? Defense, meteorological departments. These are supercomputers, all right? And mainframe computer, the next classification of computer, they are used where large, right, number of components computers. Okay, I would like to share with you the pictures of supercomputers, right? Okay, I'm sorry. This is, all right, the supercomputer picture. So big, Okay, and it needs to be right well ventilated. And the picture of mainframe computer. This is the mainframe computer. Okay, somewhat similar to supercomputers. There's a slight in terms of capacity. Okay, those are the pictures that is available in the Google. And the next type of computer is mini computer. We have the supercomputer, mainframe, and mini computer. These computers are comparatively smaller than mainframe, and these computers are used as servers. We have, okay, mini computers are so well known nowadays. Okay, the servers that we are using are considered as mini computers, and mini computers being used by banks, right, and the data processing centers. Okay, the next classification of computer is the personal computer. The computer that we are using, those are personal computer, and PCs are most popular computers into this world. It is used for various purposes like office management, education, and designing. They are smaller in size and can be placed on table. Alright, personal computers. They are available with microscopic chips, smaller than the IC before, and manufactured by Intel or AMD. Right? Some of other computers types are, right? Some of personal computers are notebook computer, laptops. Those are notebook computers or laptops. And we have this personal digital assistant, right? They are the smallest of portable computers, smaller than the notebook. And then we also have this workstation for networking. The most powerful PC which are used by engineers, scientists, and graphics artists are known as workstations. Alright. And the last one is home computer. It's still a PC for entertainment and computational purposes. Okay. Those are the different classifications of computer. So, okay. And we have this one basic the next topic, the next part of computer appreciation is basic operations in a computer, input, process, and output, which I'm going to have this discussion on the separate video. Alright, and from here it goes down to the operating system, types of software, storage devices, output devices, input devices for my next video. Okay, so I hope I was able to explain part of computer appreciations. I hope I was able to explain what is computer, characteristics of computer, the generations of computer, classifications of computer. Okay, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Actually, we have this applications of computer. Right, for applications of computer, according to bskills.in, right, computers can be used in offices, right, same with my laptop today. And computers are widely being used in office to perform day-to-day works like preparation of forms, letters, documents, memorandums, project reports. Okay, PC are so useful. And then the next one is publication and printing. Okay, popularly known as desktop publishing. Okay, these are actually what applications of computers. And computers also is being used in education. Okay, so and also computer is being used in AutoCAD, computer aided designing. When you're going to create floor plan for a building, you can make use of computer. And computers in medical, computer aided diagnostic machines are used to diagnose various types of disease, right? So it's being used. Animation and graphics, movies, cartoon movies, computers being used. Specialized software like CorelDRAW, Harvard graphics, Photoshops, the most well-known one. Okay, and lastly, computer is being used in the military. For the defense purposes in military, computer plays an important role. A guide missile, look at this. If you can remember, the Israel against Gaza, guided missiles fitted with its own computer that decides about to target a particular path. Okay, so guided missiles, and with the presence of, right, or what was that, iron system from Israel. Okay, it will counter attack the guided missiles from Gaza. And they're using computer. Okay, so I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have some questions, clarifications, please feel free to do some comments or send me an email or chat me. Okay, like I said a while ago, this video is designed for those students who are taking IT tools in business. Okay, this is actually a minor subject for commerce. Thank you so much. God bless you. Goodbye for now. God is good.